Okay. All right. What are we doing today, Eric?
We're brewing beer!
What kind of beer?
Yeah!
First 5-gallon batch we're doing
At your house.
at my
We're
house.
gonna pop this cherry.
Pop the cherry, 5-gallon batch of beer. We're doing kind of a New England kind of style pale ale.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
All citra hops,
Yeah.
real easy grain bill, and
It's 5, we say 5 gallon?
I think we said 5-gallon. First all 5-gallon batch here. We haven't. We did now.
Today on Moski Homebrew.
Okay. Fill the green bill.
Alright guys, so we heated our strike water to 170 degrees. Our grain bill is 10 pounds and 12 ounces of 2-row, 12 ounces of caramel crystal malt, 8 ounces of carapils.
Yep.
So, we got a strike water of 170 degrees. Our target mash temperature is going to be 152. So, I think we're a little high, so we're gonna wait for it to cool down and we're going to mash in. So we just smashed in, we hit our strike temperature at 152.
On the dot.
On the dot. So now we're gonna mash for an hour. Set a timer though. Forgot to set a timer. All right, we're done.
But for this beer, we're gonna do an American Ale 1056 Y yeast. You gonna do the honors?
Oh yeah, I want to smack it.
Smack and shake.
I think I got it. I don't know, we'll find out once it blows up.
Yep. The other thing we got is we've got a pound of citra hops. Not necessarily going into this beer. We have 6.5 ounces of citra hops going into this beer. That's kind of cooling down because we overshot our sparge water.
We forgot about it.
Forgot about it on the burner.
Always forget about it.
So it's at 200 instead of 170. So what you're saying is we didn't heat up 4.5 gallons for the mash. We heated up
It's my fault again, okay?
4 gallons for the mash.
Yeah, 4 gallons.
So now we're doing 5 gallons for the strike water.
Yes.
Or sparge water.
Yes.
I always get those two confused. To me, they're not really important because I know the steps.
You just tell me one thing and I just do
You just,
not do
Yeah.
that. I just don't
agree.
do that.
You just agree.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
You just agree. Your mind is elsewhere. And you're picking up gallons of water. At least you didn't overdo it. It's not like we mashed with
I put
6 gallons of water.
10 gallons of water in there. Alright, so we just hit 60 minutes in our mash. We're gonna now put it into our kettle and start our party.
So currently we are draining our mash and sparging at the same time. As you can see, Eric's in the way of the whole system. You can see the nice little bit of smoke or steam rising above from both kettles. That looks pretty cool, actually. Dope. So right now we're just waiting for that to finish up, and then we can measure out our hops, our citra hops for it, and then we can start our boil.
And we can do this and that and then this.
Such a dick. Alright guys, we'll see you then. Alright guys.
So we, we totaled 9 gallons, correct?
Of water?
Of water for
Yep.
everything. We mashed with 4 accidentally by me. sparged with 5. We ended up with 7 in the kettle.
7 in the kettle, so that means we got 2 gallons lost in the grains,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Wait, well, yeah, it's fine. We're going to probably lose 1.5 gallons.
It'll be interesting to see what we actually lose.
I'm hoping 1.5 gallons.
1.5 gallons would be good.
Because
That means we get 5.5 in the fermenter, half
Well,
a gallon lost for
I'm
shrub and hops.
that's what I was counting for, is that
Yeah.
half gallon, so we kind of end up with 5 there.
Yep.
So,
Actually into a keg.
into a keg, yeah,
So,
maybe. We'll see.
The next thing we got to look at is probably our gravity reading and our pH. Other than that, we got to start the boil.
We're just starting the boil, yep.
Yep. And then after we start heating up for the boil, we'll get our hops ready.
Yeah, we'll
think we said
weigh
that
them out.
earlier,
Yeah,
but
we're going to.
We're actually going to get our
We're going to do it now. Alright, so while we're waiting for our boils, we're going to weigh out some hops. We have a pound of citra, so we bought it in bulk because it's a little bit cheaper that way. So all the hops in this beer is going to be citra. We're going to weigh out 1 ounce for our 60-minute edition, and then we're going to weigh out, what, 1.5 ounces, I believe? 1.5 ounces for our Whirlpool edition. So really, we're only going to have 1 hop edition during our boil, and then we're actually going to weigh out 2 ounces for 1 dry hop of 6 days.
Smell this.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
1 dry hop of 6 days, and we're also going to weigh out another 2 ounces for a dry hop at 3 days. So, and by 6 days and 3 days, I mean that's towards the end of the fermentation. So 3 days before the end of the fermentation, we're going to add, in 6 days.
Yep. Which may be reversed per some other instructions, but that's just how we understand it.
Yeah.
6 days before I keg it, and 3 days before I keg it.
Yes. So we just reached our boil. Gonna give it a quick stir to get that nice foam down. Turn our burner down a little bit and add our first hop addition. Got our first hop addition, 1 ounce citra. 60 minutes. We're gonna start our timer.
Just got our boil rolling.
Yes, we just got our boil rolling.
Added our boil hops. 1 ounce of citra.
Yep.
Forgot to put it in the hop spider.
Yeah.
Oh well. Then we put the hop spider in there.
On top of it, we're doing it.
It's all right. This is the first brew day.
This is the first time we brew beer.
Other than that, we just have to wait an hour. We're doing a 60-minute boil, and then we're doing some steeping hops at the very end.
Yeah, so at our Whirlpool, or basically steeping hops. We're not
Steeping
Whirlpool,
hops.
But we just gotta weigh out
Ounce and a half.
Ounce and a half.
Yep.
Basically, that's all we gotta do.
So here's a little bit of B-roll of how we kill our time during the boil.
I want it that way.
Tell me why.
Tell me why.
Yeah, that peaked. I'm here.
All right. Right now, we're about 5 minutes away from the end of our boil. We're gonna add our chiller. Give it a quick rinse, then add it.
Yep. So we'll add our chiller, and then once we get to the end of the boil, we'll turn the flame off, and then we'll make sure it's not boiling anymore, and then we'll add the steeping
and then we'll
hops.
add steeping hops.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna do.
Okay. All right, so we just flamed out. Eric's putting the chiller together, and I'm going to add our basically lapis hop addition and our steeping hops of what?
1.5.
1.5 ounces. All right, so we just hit our pitching temperature. We hit about 70. Well, we're at about 78 degrees. We're just gonna let it cool down some, but we're gonna transfer it into the fermenter right now.
Yep. Where's it going? Sorry.
Anyway, we're gonna transfer it into the fermenter. And start
We
cleaning
were
it
gonna
up.
use the aerator.
We were gonna use an aerator, but Eric decided to go ahead and do what he wanted to do. It took us only about 15 minutes from a boil
15 minutes to cool down.
15 minutes to cool down to about 78 degrees. And we ended up with 5.5. We said exactly what.
Boiled off a gallon an hour, or a gallon every 30 minutes. 2 gallons an hour. No.
No.
Gallon and a half.
No.
Sorry.
No. We down at a gallon and a half in an hour.
Yep.
But that's exactly what we predicted we were going to do too. So we started with 7. We ended up with 5.5, which is exactly where we wanted to be. Because then we could probably throw 5 in a keg. So it'd be a full keg.
Battery's almost dead.
So a few things we learned today on this brew day.
Yep. At least for the first brew day of the setup, at least. First time using this setup.
Yeah. We kind of were low on our efficiency for our mash.
Yeah, that's true.
We
ended
thought
up
we were perfect.
at the mash out. We thought we were perfect.
Yeah.
And then we ended up having an extra half a gallon in the mash tun. And we looked at what we had in the kettle, measured it out, and said, okay, we're going to boil off this much. If we add that, we'll be at the perfect volume. But in all reality, we were short about, so we missed it by about 10 gravity points or so.
But I think we were at perfect though. So we added that extra dropped it a little bit.
So we either could have had perfect gravity but a little less volume, or we could have added the volume and had a slightly less alcoholic beer.
Yes.
So we figured out why that might have been, and that's maybe because of we use the aerator instead of an actual sparge arm. So the next time we're going to do a brew day, we're going to try and do a batch sparge, where instead of feeding it out and filling it at the same time, we're going to fill the whole thing, maybe stir the grains a little bit. Since we're doing brew in a bag, we don't have to set a grain bed. We can just lift the bag out.
I know another thing we were talking about is that we did squeeze the bag in other brew days where we did use a bag.
Yep.
And we didn't do that today.
Yep.
So
that is true.
Could have had something to do with it. You know, I don't know. We don't know exactly what you know.
And
there's multiple things that could happen.
There is some controversy with squeezing
the bag. Yeah.
But we've never really had an issue with squeezing the bag, honestly.
No.
And I even think Brewlosophy online had done an experiment on it, and they basically said no one could really tell the difference.
Yeah, there's no real definitive difference between.
I think what's more important
than bad
is that you don't go over your mash temperature, because then you start.
Yeah.
If you get over 170 on your mash, then you start extracting those tannins from the grains themselves and the holes.
So anyway, there's a lot of things that we could have done wrong or different, but in the end, we still ended up with beer. It's gonna make beer.
It's gonna make beer.
So, this is Mostly Homebrew.
Eric and Eric.
Yep. Make sure to comment below, follow us. See you guys next time.
Cheers, guys. Neither of us have beers. I have beer. That's because I'm slow at drinking mine, though.
I don't know. I drink like 3.
Give me your fist.
I don't know where it is.
Fist me.
We'll see you guys next time.
Don't put that in the video.